That's a Naga counter, I guess. You once you get the Ags later on down the line, you actually control the illusions quite nicely. Don't allow them to do the damage, and okay, that's a direct Naga counter as well. You get a shard, you can with your mana drain kill all of the illusions, and it
Yep.
kind of makes the make it hard for the Naga Siren to do much in fights. The problem, of course, here comes where it's a lion, a 600 HP hero at the start of the game. Of course, he's gonna have a bit more, but up against the tiny. So every single time the tiny sees you, you're dead. Same is
Yep.
true for the silencer. So supports of Geek Fam are very easy targets.
They definitely are. Tiny's really good at rotating against silencers and the lions, especially if he gets the jump on silencer right away. If he doesn't, it does allow Geek Fam to poke the Tiny a bit more. The slow can be very annoying to deal with. Attack team on Tusk against a Tiny that doesn't have a lot of armor to go with until he hits level 6 to get the grow level 1. Bat Rider brought up. Bat versus Pango, classic. Able to lasso through the rolling thunder.
I think this is a offlane Pango, right? You put the Tusk in the mid. Tusk mid actually deals relatively well against the against the bat.
You could go for that. I like the idea.
Plus, Tusk doesn't lane against the Naga Siren. You could punish the Crystal Maiden in that lane, especially because as an offlane Tusk, you sometimes, or more often than not, you max out the tag team, something that we don't see too often. But the Naga Siren doesn't care because of the high armor. The tag team doesn't touch her, and then the Crystal Maiden can always be somewhat behind the Naga Siren. It's hard for you to commit. So I'm hoping for Geek Fam's sake that they are gonna be playing a mid lane Tusk.
Lifestealer, Night Stalker. The Night Stalker would be very annoying. This could also be an indicator for something like a Drow draft for Geek Fam. Night Stalker, one of the better counters to it.
Was a good Lifestealer pick for Geek Fam as well. With the Maelstrom, he would be decent against the Naga. What else comes to mind for Geek Fam? Scam is their position 1. So maybe a Arc Warden. I'm pretty sure this guy plays everything, so something along those lines would be cool as well to see.
Well, at least no Lesh for him because it's banned. So that leaves us with TA Slark SF that he has played so far.
Out of the 3, the SF looks the best in my mind.
The SF is nice, yeah. A BKP fighter through the Naga song. But then you need some protection from your team against this bat. You do have Tusk and Pango who like to build Lotus Orbs. Maybe they could give some extra protection for the SF with the shared Lotus.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
Lycan ban. What is Lycan really good against?
Against the Lion and the Silencer. They don't do anything.
I'm thinking core. I'm thinking core-wise. It is good against the Silencer and the Lion for sure, but I was thinking, isn't Lycan really good against Naga? Like, there was like I think we talked with Kezu about Zoo heroes being really good against the Naga Siren. Or was it against? It was actually against the Morphling. Never mind. Yeah, the Morphling was weak against Zoo heroes.
5 seconds remain.
Usually, these super high armor heroes don't really care that much about the summons because you just don't take that much damage. They're gonna have to make a decision, Geek Fam, right now.
Yeah, that's
they
the
go
one I
for
was
the
thinking.
Jugger.
I was thinking
That's
Juggernaut.
A safe choice.
That is also a Maelstrom carrier against the Naga Siren. I was thinking about the Juggernaut. That's a solid pick. That is a lot of armor. Illusion Destroyer. Doesn't care about Tiny and CM too much. Bat Rider's a bit of a threat, but you also have Omni Slash, which is a very helpful tool. Plus, Global Silence is probably the worst thing the Bat Rider can run into this game. He sees a jug, he's like, oh, I want to grab this guy. Silence. And then, okay, what do we do now?
So Execration most likely need an off-lane hero. I'm going to assume that this bat is going to be mid. I mean, laning the bat against the Silencer and the Juggernaut would be a big mistake. One of those is bad enough, but 2 of them together is just the worst. You can't do anything there. So yeah, they need an offlaner for sure.
I don't know if the Doom does good in the lane, but Viper is also pretty nice here. So then you would
Doom
have...
is actually decent.
Then you'd have Bat Viper both as range heroes with the Naga. I guess with a Tiny you could play a Viper here. Doom could also work.
Choose your hero.
though I have seen plenty of Slardars against Juggernauts in the lane matchup, so I guess it could work. I guess the Slardar could fit in nicely. It just doesn't have that direct synergy unless this Tiny's a core, but it's not going to be one, as it's going to be Shanks on the Tiny. So what's your take on the Slardar pick? Is it like a game saver, or is it just another mediocre offlane?
I think it's a mediocre offlane, especially against the Juggernaut, who naturally has solid amounts of armor, plus raid bands now are very strong, and I think that's what's hurting the Slardar. With one raid band, you get almost like 3 armor level 1 added, because you get 2 armor from it and 5 agility, which is almost close to one more armor. So I think with all of that, that's why we're seeing Slardar struggle even against the lifestealers, which should be a direct counter to the hero in the laning phase. I think Juggernaut naturally does better, and Silencer versus 2 melee heroes, it's not gonna be fun for Tino.
Has become too
Yeah, it's definitely not gonna be a fun game for sure. But as spamming right clicker on the Slardar, you are great against the Pango, you're good against the Tusk. You can even lock down a Juggernaut if you get lucky and just hold him on the spot, because spin won't help you. If he just gets his bash combo off, he gets the first one, then you build up into like Mask of Madness, AC, maybe even a Moon Shard. I would actually really like the speedy right clicker Slardar build for this game, just so that their Naga would have more time to focus on other targets.
Yeah, I think you mostly go for the Mask of Madness build in the Slardar. It just changes the hero so much, and if you get on top of, let's say, a Silencer, he's just dead. Then your Tiny, once he gets a Blink Dagger, it's not gonna be a core Tiny, so not gonna be that fast. But once he does, he can be hunting the other one. He can be hunting the Norman Lion, and then you are the one that deals with the Silencer.
All right, let's see what Geek Fam can pull off here, and so goes the same for Execration. It is a Bob Rider. Tino, oh, that's first blood. Execration gonna have to suffer the first loss already.
Panda, you sounded genuinely sad that he got caught there. It felt bad. Yeah, people can read that you're.
I mean, you just literally said Tino's not gonna have a fun time, and this is just one start to it. So just living with the story.
And look at the Juggernaut. He already has 8 armor. I mean, 8.5 to be precise. So with a couple of more levels, it's gonna be 9. I just don't know how much the Slardar can do that. There, once you get to your timing, it's level 3, 2 points bash of the deep. He has 9 armor, and what are you gonna do? You can't even tickle him.
Depends if you like tickling or not. There's gonna be 3 bounty runes going in favor for Geek Fam, as only 1 goes for Execration, plus the first blood, which was brought up to the Silencer. He's 100 gold short from his boots, and those boots are going to be very handy because you are laning against the Crystal Maiden.
He's laning against the Crystal Maiden and the Slardar. Usually a Silencer wouldn't have those until the Slardar hits level 5, maybe even 6. And then with the sprint on level 4, you just run him down. But Roger, actually he's not going for boots. He bought all of the regen there, and it does make sense, I guess. If you're constantly poking them, it's not like they can go for your life.
One of those tongue twisters. You see, look at Geek Fam's roster. I would like to see an SEA versus East Europe brawl of Roger versus Roger.
You just say Roger, and Roger would be. Yeah,
no, but I just want to see them battle it out, you know? Roger versus Roger. A lot of Roger jokes.
We'll see if that ever happens. That matchup.
Yep. Probably not. Spin already being used here onto the Slardar. Tino, Arcane Curse slowing him down, ticking low, gets the 2-man stun on both Roger and Scam. Scam, who previously played for Boom, finding himself with a new team. Geek Fam making a return back into Dota.
Scam played as a 5.
Let's follow for this situation. Probably going to be fine with the Slardar, but still, I think the cool thing for the upcoming year is we have something we haven't really had in the previous years of Dota, and that is SEA is booming, and SA is booming with all the new organizations getting interested in Southeast Asia, players getting higher salaries, if I've understood correct as well. So they're getting more support from their organizations, more orgs getting interested in this region, and same for South America. So have you ever actually been to a situation where, wow, SA is looking like a strong region, or SEA is probably going to be one of the more interesting regions to actually watch? Like, SEA has always been fun to watch, but on a competitive scale, it's always kind of been like, yeah, it's just a region that exists. But I think this year is really going to be hype for SEA.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think the main thing is that South America and Southeast Asia have a big influx of new talent. China doesn't have that. In Europe you have it, but Europe has been on top for a couple of years now. I mean, since forever Europe was close to the top, and you know, with the North America and China not really having any influx of new people, you know, or at least a very low amount of very new players, it does make sense that the organizations are going to be switching up to South America and Southeast Asia.
It definitely has been Europe on top. East Europe has shown their capability. China has already proved themselves since the start of time. Well, the start of Dota years. They have always been around at the top level. Now it feels like NA might just be the ones dropping all the way to the bottom. We'll see. We'll see what the coming year will show us. But SCA, a lot of promise. Maybe GeekFam is one of those teams that will bounce up. Norman has been a player who a lot of people always get interested in. The type of heroes he plays, the way he plays, you know, introducing gyrocopter supports from game to game, even not having a great successful game in like game 1. He would still pick it in game number 2, show why he wants the hero. While Tino, he is a really good Visage player, but can he handle this lane with Slardar? Or can he handle this game with Slardar? Let's put it that way. The lane was never going to be easy for him.
Considering that he is getting solid amounts of CS, I think he should be happy. Considering how much Roger was constantly pressuring him and him keeping himself somewhat on par with the Jugger, there's nothing to be afraid of in terms of the things that he has gotten out of the lane here.
It's only the Tusk who has the least CS currently, but the Batrider, not too many last hits ahead. 20 versus 16. A couple more denies than the Tusk does. Everyone else is enjoying their game. So yeah, you're right. That Slardar is not doing too bad considering the situation. They are gonna maybe kill Shanksy. Oh, the toss onto Palos as Force to get hit under the tower. Meanwhile, Tino and Roger, Tino and Roger both losing their lives in the bottom lane.
You went a little bit too aggressive to kill the Silencer. You get annoyed because he's constantly poking you and you want to get a kill. But on the top lane, that was a beautiful play from Shanks. He tossed Force just before he would have killed him.
Trying to kill Bob in mid might happen. Cox with Roger will work out. Tusk for the kill. On top lane, they get Palos as well.
It was actually a move that Execration made onto the Narman Lion, but they just didn't have enough damage, and then the turnaround was swift and strong, and Nagasiren couldn't outrun.
Attempt number 1 didn't work out. Second one did. 4-1. GeekFam early on the board with the kills. Now they're hunting down the Tusk here. Bob. The flame break. Lasso is available. Just gonna wait for a couple more napalm stacks. Doesn't actually need to lasso at all. He'll do it the old-fashioned way with the help of his buddy Palos. Almost dying a second time. Force shield crash. Soul comes out. 2 more hits. 2 more hits or a swashbuckle, but he's already under the tower. And Shanks just TP'd in between, so no chase for you.
Palos slithering away. Really, really speedy. Nagasiren, one of the faster heroes in the game. one of the reasons that it is so popular, because you can spread out the illusions so fast across the map, and
Yep.
it's almost impossible to catch her there. We saw even with the slow from the shield crash, it wasn't enough. Also, I mean, infused range drops coming into play. If he hadn't had those, the shield crash would have just been enough for the damage.
It certainly would. Kind of like those that the raindrops are getting more and more frequently picked up. Tino walks into Skem. As Skem pops his Blade Fury, he just first hit bashes him and leaves him spinning on the spot. And look at Bob. This is classic Bob gameplay right here. No respect. Getting hit by the shards, pushed all the way to Narman. Narman gets the stun out, and with the creeps, Narman will finish off Bob on the Batrider. Bit optimistic dive there. 1 versus 2. However, bottom, they do force out the spin again from Skentino. Can't escape the creep wave. Snowball coming in as well. Cox will make the rotation and take down 1, and will take down 2.
Oh, that was just beautiful from Cox. First, they teach Bob respect there. When you dive the tier 2, you're gonna die. And then with limited resources, Cox just decides to TP to the bottom lane and change things up. Scam, you could see there that he was holding his ground. It looked for a second like Tino was gonna kill him, but with the rotation of the Tusk, that was really never gonna happen.
Yep. Bob gonna dive for this Lion here. Tumbler Toy onto Narman. Narman getting burnt up, and the tower helping him get the kill. Forcing away the Tusk as well. Not a lot of napalm to throw in. He's happy with this one. Lion giving himself giving his life away for a freebie. We'll take that. Bob is actually another most farmed core as well on the side of Execration, as Palos did get killed once and driven out of lane right after that. So he's missed out on a bit of CS.
I mean, sometimes it gets really confusing in Southeast Asia when people are changing their nicknames. So Cogs is actually Avatar mode, and 214 is BDZ, used to be known as Carlo as well. Narman, that's Hustla. So they're really confusing us here. So they're a little bit for the viewers to have the info of it might be one of their favorite players, and they don't even know that it's them.
Yep. That's good information to have, because I actually was like, you know, just a basic Sunday morning with 4 best of 2s. Like, all right, let's see what we have here. Execration, Palos getting zapped down by the Lion. BDZ trying to make a run. Is he gonna be lucky with this escape? He's still being chased into the neutral camp. Denied, but Scam will farm the camp as well. So can't get the kill, but he'll take the creeps.
Yep, and those creeps actually might be worth more than the CM herself. And not being on the map already as the CM is a big issue. You want to be running around with this hero, constantly getting on top of your enemies, but just not an easy CM game actually. When you look at it, you would love to get on top of the Silencer or the Lion, but going through a Pango, going through a Tusk, the Jug you don't even look at as a CM. It's just way too hard to do. You can die so easily. So a very nice draft here for GeekFam to deal with that hero in particular.
Here comes Avatar mode, aka Cox will go for the attempt onto Bob. Attempt made successful with the kill going through. Shanks disengaging, leaving the vicinity of the action. 9-3 for GeekFam. Off to a good start.
And look at Tino. He would love to get the enemy carry out of the lane. That's pretty much what the Slardar does. Just can't do it against the Juggernaut. Rate Band and the Phase Boots are there. He doesn't even go into minus armor when even when he's not next to the tower. He still has +1. So Tino can't really threaten him that much. And if he even tries to overextend, he's just gonna die.
Well, he is attempting to extend, and Bob was also teleporting in. He is a bit faster than the Jug, but Jug, as soon as the Flame Break flies out, he should be using his spin. However, he never does. Honestly, I would have actually gone for that with Bob. Just throw in the Flame Break and see what his reaction is going to be. Palos, he teleported bottom. Cox will throw him into the air. It's a bit of a chase, but Global is up.
Tower is taking
Execration understand the importance of getting Scam out of this lane, but they just can't do it. They don't have the heroes for it. Their initiation is non-existent. Naga Siren cannot come over. We saw what can happen to Palos with just a few spells from the Tusk. So it is a very tough situation for Execration. They just can't do what their lineup is designed to do.
Yep. Shanks. He's gonna go on the silencer. There's the toss into one stun, into the second one. Slardar slaps him down. He does get the global off, but they need a kill with it. Are they gonna get it? Tino. Bit of a taunting stun there because it doesn't quite connect onto the Juggernaut.
While all this was happening, Bob tried to kill Force. Still, he didn't have a lasso, so Force just TP'd out. And it's gonna be a Lotus Orb already on this Pango. It's such a huge item. I guess pretty much everyone, all of the spells other than the Avalanche can be purged off.
Yeah, and now they actually found Tino in the bot lane. Narman, there's the Omni Slash coming out from the Juggernaut. Forcing Shanks and Bob on the retreat. 6 seconds for another spin. Narman misses the stun. It splits the two heroes, and he's dead.
He wanted too
Ball
much.
to the back line. It will connect on Bob. He actually gets it. Pixel perfect. And BDZ.
Bonus.
Spin to win.
Okay, they're bringing the Slardar, but can he run down the Tusk? Nah, the Snowball is ready. And this is the thing, with the Tusk, when you find an Arcane Rune, you can just fight as much as you want. There is no way that you're gonna be losing the fight. The spells are too strong, and the cooldowns are just too low.
Also, this Tusk being level 10, gonna be difficult to contest with. And
You're
there's
seeing
the-
Bob wants to blink. He wants to blink because they can't make a play.
Yep.
That's the thing right now. He knows that Tino isn't gonna be getting one, so he has to be the one that jumps in first, or none of the cores of GeekFam are ever gonna die.
Yep. And Force has just finished Lotus Orb. That's his first item of the game. Will be able to keep their heroes alive a bit longer, removing that amplified damage. And they found Tino again. Tino, the last time he battled against the Tusk, it didn't end well. Shanks going for the toss, pushing him away, but taking Skem into the snowball, inside the shards. This Tusk will get the kill with the help of Skem.
They're just not equipped to kill the Tusk right now. I don't know how many heroes they need to do so. They would need BDZ with the ulti for sure. The freezing field is a necessity if you want this hero to die right now, and there's always a global science to be afraid of.
3-man smoke, Tusk with the blink dagger. And global
They're
up
hunting
as well.
Palos.
They want Palos, yeah, exactly. If they can find the right one, that would be a perfect kill. Smoke's already popped, and he will find him. They will miss the Walrus Punch on the first go, but will not miss the second. And with the global, Palos nowhere to go. Stun locked and killed. For another kill for GeekFam. And looking at the graph, it is a very high climb towards the Radiant. 78% now with that 3k lead. And BDZ going down. Lasso onto the Lion. And Snowball saved as well out of the fire. Norman, he walks back in, and he's going to get burned up. Might have actually been a flame break that killed him there, and he's dodging very well. Bob, he's out. Whew.
I think it wasn't the flame break. I think he got in again, considering that he got given a Lotus Orb by Force, and was looking at the cooldown of the flame break. 100% it was removed from the line. So yeah, that fire, it didn't really show on the map properly, and Narman just walked in. So nicely done by Bob that he gets himself out.
Yeah, that was a good juke from Bob there. He dodged the swashbuckle, lands on the high ground, teleports away. And I just got another notification that Pango has again got himself a Lotus Orb. So I'm thinking he's disassembling and assembling the item over and over again.
Yep. I was like, why is Panda talking about this Lotus that just got made like a couple of minutes ago? Yeah, he's doing it because of the Arcane Boots. He was having some mana problems. But
That is actually really smart. I like that because you don't get to see it too often, where you have a Lotus Orb item picked up early on, and then you're like, yeah, but I have these brown boots. But he's disassembling it for the mana boots, opening his boots so he gets the Arcane Boots, disassembles it again, and puts it back into Lotus. So, like, smart stuff. Smart stuff.
Narman got a shard. So right now they're targeting the Naga Siren. They know this is the only way that Execration win the game is if Palos pushes out the lanes. But you have this Lion. If every single time he sees illusions, they're just instantly dead. It kind of takes away the farming potential of Palos completely.
Currently sitting in a bit of a stalemate situation. Both teams on their sides of the map. Narman would like to start building into this Blink Dagger. 1,700 gold. It's going to take some time. Maybe if they're successful in fights and he's able to find a kill or two, or just sit in for the assists before dying, maybe that's a way for Narman to get this dangerous Blink Hex. Also
At least they have a blink on Tiny.
Actually, he did buy the shard. He just ignored the blink. That's why.
Yep.
Just realized that we do have a global silence being used. Okay.
Tried to save the judge.
They tried to save. Yeah, they tried to save Scam. Actually, yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is taking damage.
That's not gonna be happening. As soon as he got lassoed and didn't get the spin off, the kill was gonna happen. There was nothing they could do about it. The Jett was way too low. I actually expected the Tiny to be the one catching him, but actually it was the Bat. The smoke broke at a perfect timing, and he just got him.
Radiant's middle tower is being attacked.
Battling in the river now. It is Crystal Maiden. BDZ going a bit too deep, forced to finish him off. Tusk is also making progress towards a BKB. So once he has that, he's got Blink BKB, can happily initiate, get the rest of the team to follow up. You have Pango, who also has magic immunity. And you have Jug with Spin, who has magic immunity. So they're able to close in gaps.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, look at what Narman is doing to poor Palos. Okay, now he's gonna die. He should die for that.
Yeah, we should see what Palos is doing to poor Narman.
Yeah, true. I mean, he killed 3 of Palos.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
Fighting on the tier 2 tower, Tino. 2000 HP, dropped to half.
He's tanky. He's really tanky. That's a lot of damage that comes out from those 3 heroes, and they aren't able to kill him. If he wasn't under the tower, obviously they would be able to take him down. But when you look at these 3, you think immediately someone is just gonna get popped. But, yeah, he does survive. Still a very nice walk into the Roche. When you look at Execration, the Naga Siren doesn't want to be on the top lane. So even if she comes there, you're gonna be okay with that. You don't really need the Roche. You want the Naga on the top lane, and if she doesn't want to come, well, sure, we get the free Aegis.
Yep. Happy to secure this first Aegis for themselves under 20 minutes. GeekFam, even if they've given away a bit of their lead, they're still alright with the situation. Skem having only 1 death. Pango leading net worth. And now he also has a 2nd life. Might be a farming Aegis.
Palos is going for a defusal. I hate that one. I really don't want to see a defusal blade. I mean, the item just very rarely works on the Naga Siren, and people have been dodging it for quite some time. If he's hoping for damage, most likely not gonna come out because of the line.
We'll see, but they're gonna jump Bob in the river. Global Silence comes out. Tiny already blinked away. Avatar mode rolling in on BDZ. There's a flame break, but only onto 1 stack of napalm, not doing a lot of work. Frostbite, but there's the Lotus Orb. Back on the move.
Nice.
Here comes Palos. He's going to intercept from the other direction. And he will finish off Narman. Not much that Force can do.
Yeah. Very awkward initiation from Geek Fam, and they're rolling Thunder. They're being forced back multiple times. First, he got himself onto the high ground. Then he had to jump down, and then the next time that he wanted to roll through the enemies, the shard stopped him. So Geek Fam, not really the best spell usage there, and it's gonna allow Execration to get their Naga at the top of the network chart. Palos has been doing a stellar job keeping himself alive, pushing out the lanes. Now he's on the top lane, but Geek Fam needs some time to get together and have that rolling Thunder yet again, so Palos can use this time to get even more farm.
Yep. Fam continues to apply pressure. Form of Avatar mode and Skem. Clean out another kill for themselves. Tino first hit bash, followed up with the stun. He's got another one on Skem. He ain't going anywhere. Omni Slash finally dropped. Then it's actually hitting on the heroes plus the Cree Wave. It will take down Roger. Palos is the one to find that kill. And now turning things around. Age is gone. Bashed to death. Force coming in.
Palos is in trouble.
Mode will be controlling Palos. Palos is all by himself. The team can't get close enough, and Force goes for another. This man has been playing some really good Dota since the last chance qualifiers, if I remember correct, when Force was still playing with Polaris, and probably landed some of the most interesting Mars plays. I think when you looked at the Mars players in the last chance qualifier, Force easily made some of the most highlight plays happen on the hero. Unfortunately, Polaris weren't able to keep a hold on to the upper bracket. They were dropped into the lower and then knocked out of the tournament, ending their TI run.
And you could see the difference in the quality of fights for GeekFam if they get a good rolling thunder to connect onto multiple heroes, or if it just whips completely. If the rolling thunder is good, if you get on top of a hero, the hero is just dead, even if it's a super farm Naga Siren.
Yeah. Moments of chill here as we're watching Tino farm up, getting his BKB from this camp. So Slardar with the magic immunity available. And GeekFam look like they want to smoke up. They're pretty stacked up in here. Silencer does have one.
It's time for GeekFam to get those BKBs lower. The Batrider has one, the Slaughter has one. You need to pop those charges right now, and then in the later portions of the game around the second dose, you need to be stronger.
Palos is showing himself. Narman going to go for the dive. Here we go. BKB being used onto the global silence. The stun onto 2. Skem's still going to be there as well. Force rolling through onto BDC. And they're losing heroes. Execration able to maybe turn this one around even without Palos. But they need to land them on the correct targets. Manta being used. Spelling the Frostbite. Lasso coming in as well. They need to get Skem. Here comes the Omni Slash as well. No, it actually wasn't even an Omni Slash. It was just jumping back and forth. And they will take down Bob. Execration 3-4 down. And it's down to Shanks. Shanks can't even clean them out. He can only take down Avatar mode. And that is all of them dead. GeekFam cleaning house.
And not only that, it was on the opponent's side of the map. You can push out all of the lanes right now without much worry of you being caught, and you forced out both of the BKB charges on both the Batrider and the Slardar.
Yep.
Sure, losing all heroes is bad enough, but this is something that the Execration should have used to get back into this game, because the Naga Siren won't be able to do it alone. You still need these cores in front. You still need these heavy hitters to at least deal with the line, but with low BKBs, it's just going to be harder and harder to do.
Yeah. At least apply a presence. But right there, it was just the Naga getting jumped on way too early before the rest of the team was able to participate. That was a good opener there from Tino. During the global silence, he BKBs, he charges into the fight, tries to help his buddy. But it's still just 2 heroes when you have 4 on you already.
Yeah. You need to stop the jug. All of the instant damage that comes from GeekFam, that's gonna connect onto the Naga Siren either way. But you need to stop the jug from doing this constant amount of damage with the spin to the Naga Siren. So I think Tino, in the future in this game, he's just gonna be sitting on the jug, making sure that he's bashed and he can't move throughout the fight.
You want to hear a cringe-worthy pun?
Of course.
He really went for the jugular.
And moving on. For all of our sakes. So I'm liking Execration's at least idea how to play this game with the movements, and with Palos constantly being on the bottom side of the map. They are making sure that their tier 2 doesn't fall. That is the big one. Next Roche, you will fight it most likely, and if you lose a tier 2 and the outpost, then you're stuck in a really tough spot.
There's only one hero to defend this top tower as Skem is leading the charge. It is the Batrider. Bob keeping a safe distance, looking for the tier 2 trade. Execration pushing bottom at the same time. Scan has also been used, so they have information. Skem is playing it safe. He's playing it cautiously. No unnecessary risks needed here. Tino shows himself. Execration currently sitting on the high ground where they do not have vision. Fam don't know too much, but they see all of them because their outpost has been taken away. And as this tier 2 remains, they won't be able to take GeekFam's outpost. Getting deprived of experience. Supports say thank you.
Dire's top tower is under
And
siege.
Narma knew,
Radiant's middle
or
tower
the whole
is
of Geek Fam knew that this was their goal. Right now, Execration,
diving.
they really want this tower and him
They
as
want it really bad. Pango needs to get here fast. He's just TPing into mid. Norman gonna have to battle it out. He goes for the mana drain, doesn't get the finger, or actually does, but it doesn't seem to do much damage, or doesn't do any damage at all. Skim still has the Omni Slash available. They're gonna be taking the Tiny down very low on HP. Naga's also gonna be in the middle, get the song off just in time, but he can't teleport out. There's no escape. Force is just gonna do a nuisance, and Palos, he's gonna get hammered by Skim. They're gonna look for more. BDC barely teleports away, and they just lost the Naga on a dive under the tower. They just wanted a Lion kill, but it was instead a Lion King that they faced.
You know at that point that if you go back, you're losing everything. You're losing the second Roche, you're losing all of the map control. You might not even be able to get their tier 2 for a trade for the Roche, and that's way too many objectives that will go to the enemy side and not yours. And they went for the play, but very good positioning for Narman. He knew that the enemies had one play positioned accordingly, and the entirety of Geek Fam was ready.
Let's see what Execration is thinking about next. They did lose Palos. Palos, who currently is just sitting on a Heart Diffusal Manta, so he is tanky for sure, but as we saw, he was just all by himself, and any hero in a 1 versus 5 doesn't stand a very high chance. Narman has found himself a Bob Rider, getting hexed up into the trees, and on the other side of the lake, just trying to dodge as many projectiles as possible, finally able to cross it and get to safety. Narman on the chase, and Force found him. Ooh! Bob could feel that one.
He definitely could, surviving barely, but found a nice spot there to TP from. It was kind of obvious where he was, so Force, it was easy for him to guess, but still doesn't have enough damage. He hoped that it might be enough, but Bob, fast on the fingers, goes immediately for a TP out. No reason to wait there. And now they go for a smoke. Bob has created an opening for his team.
Roche has also spawned at the same time. Execration leaving their base, crossing the river. Geek Fam know about Roshan that they could potentially take. Smokes are popping on the back line. Roger being found. Shanks goes quickly for the avalanche, and that might just be your global gone. No buyback. I'll wait with this Roshan for a bit, but Bob's not waiting at all. He's just gonna go in. Lotus Orb is there to protect the Tusk for the time being. Omni Slash onto Tino. Tino will go down. The Tusk will get the kill for it. There they found the Shanks Tiny as well. Execration to lose a second. Bob hogging the wall of the Roche pit. He wants Force to make a mistake, but Force is careful. He's a good driver. He's driven this Pango before. And make sure that's a 3-for-1. And without the global silence not even being available, they take this Roche, at least for themselves, as it leaves Execration empty-handed.
It just goes to show how much of a difference in strength there is between the two lineups at this point. Especially with the Naga Siren not being there, you can't have these long drawn-out fights. You need to jump on a hero, kill him, jump on another one, kill him. That's how it needs to be for Execration. If you don't destroy a hero that you've jumped on, you're just gonna get turned around on, and at that point the fight is over. All of this also happening because those BKB charges are low, because maybe if Tino had a bit of a longer BKB charge, might have been able to run out, or maybe Bob, but they're both down to 6 seconds, so you have a very small window when you need to end the fight so it goes your way and then go through the chases.
Yeah, I guess the BKBs could help, but it really was the Omni Slash that destroyed Tino in that fight. But in the general picture, it is true that these BKB timers are running low. Palos is trying to make an engagement onto Roger and Scam in the front. But Scam is just going to go right away for a bit of a chase with the spin. He's got the shard. Has that mobility tool for his advantage, but Execration just can't get the fight that they hope for.
Yeah, now there's multiple Lotus Orbs. You have a Slardar, you have a... I mean, we already talked about it. Every single one of their heroes has something that can easily be removed other than the Tiny, and who the hell cares about the Tiny? So all of your spells are countered by one item, and there's multiple of those on the enemy side.
Well, Crystal Maiden can always kill this hero if you feel like it, and they definitely will. The Hex lands onto the Naga as well. Naga gonna be in trouble. Stun load completely down to half HP. The finger comes out as well. He's down to 500. They're gonna be blowing Apollo's down. Bob's also gonna be hit by Skim. There's the Omni Slash, and they're gonna split targets. Shanks can't get close enough. And even if he did, he would have probably just sacked his own life. Now the Slard are down, and they're going for panic buybacks. They're in shambles. They're in full chaos right now inside the base of Execration. And Execration, what can they do? There's an Aegis they still need to burst through the Juggernaut, and this Naga just cannot do anything.
And Healing Ward is still alive. Okay, it will go down now. At least something.
Shanks have to get the avalanche out as the snowball connects from avatar mode. Onto the tier 3 tower they go, force leading the charge. Skem right next to him. What does Palos do? She has the song available. Right now it just looks like there's a DD rune if Palos could get to it. That could help a bit, but it's just going to be ancient farming.
Palos is not a hero in this game because his teammates cannot kill the Lion fast enough. That's how it goes. He had a small window there when the Lion was dead, but the problem is that most of his teammates were as well, and then you can't do anything. While the Lion is alive, Palos doesn't do anything, and you don't have the strength necessary to kill him fast enough.
Here goes Narman. Instant blink hex, global silence coming in as well. Palos with a Manta to dispel it. But again, we've seen this story multiple times. Palos in a world of hurt. Somehow finding a route out of there. He's going to trap Force on the spot, but the Lotus Orb's going to be there, and he's out of mana. Force barely with the last points of mana. Tino with the stun catches the Lion as well as Norman tried to save his friend. He doesn't have any friends left. All your friends are dead. And he's in there trying to sap up the mana from Tiny, and it doesn't work out. Lasso and lasso action. It is a perfect circle. Skem still has Aegis. Pango coming in with a buyback. TP's to a tier 2 tower because they don't have the outpost anymore. Avatar mode, finding Tino. Gets hit by the shards. Warlord punch to the face. And BDZ killed by the spin. Palos in trouble again. 1100 HP remaining. Teleporting back home.
Palos is out. Use a fish punch to kill a fish. It does make sense. Force bought back there because there could have been a potential chase for Execration. They saw, okay, no Lion, our Naga can actually do a lot in these fights. But if there's Force there as well with the Rolling Thunder and he got it back off cooldown, you are still gonna have a really hard time. That's why I didn't like the Diffuser Blade. I wanted Palos just to have some items that will allow him to murder people. Orchid, Aghanim Scepters, something along those lines. I guess he skipped them because of the Lotus Orbs, but that was your only path to victory. This way, you're not going to be able to get it.
30 seconds for Aegis to expire. That means that the Crystal Maiden is up by then, so is the Slardar. They're going to have to time this fight perfectly again. On the side of Execration. They could start the fight now because it feels like there's just no damage. Aegis will expire by the time that they're even getting close to killing Sam. Bob coming in from the side. Still smoked up Shanks. Oh, close. Rolling Thunder bait from Force. Bob already BKB'd up. Oh.
I mean, if they want to, GeekFam can easily re-engage. They have those 2 Lotuses, so protecting the Juggernaut is quite easy. Okay, they want to jump first.
Of course they do. They'll take it if they can, and they will. Song from Palos. Snarman still gets the kill on Tino. He just used a BKB to chase, and he couldn't get anything with it. Now you're using a song to try and help your buddy out, who still dies despite it. And you're getting choked. Slowly but surely. Scam in the front. Continues with the melee racks. And an instant hex from Norman. Beautiful precast. Oh, he's been spamming that hex on top of the Juggernaut, or he just got it on time as he got vision. They did have a ward placed down, and this will be a disastrous defense for Execration. What can you do? You're gonna get controlled. You're gonna get murdered. You're all gonna die. Palos trying to escape from Force. 3 seconds for Swashbuckle. Another Maelstrom proc flies in. Can he finish him off? No, he can't. He doesn't even want to throw the Swashbuckle in, so Palos will actually get to live. It was just a bait. It wasn't Friday the 13th. There's no Jason here. There's just a Bob Rider. He's coming in from the side once again. He's got nothing else left. BKB in 5, but no lasso.
There are some similarities, Panda. People are dying. Also, when it comes to that hex onto the Tiny, they have 2 wards in the enemy base, so he saw him coming. He clicked the hex on him, and as soon as the Tiny came in, he got hexed up. Though, yeah, in some of those situations, the Lions would spam the hex on top of a Juggernaut, but in this case, it wasn't needed because he had perfect vision of the Tiny.
Double damage.
Nice DD rune for Jug to farm some creeps.
He understands he's already so much stronger than his opponents, and using the DD against them would be way too much. So what a good lad Scam is. He does have a butterfly right now, so even if he would stay in a 1 versus 1 against the Naga Siren, he still wins. The illusions just don't touch him. So with every single item, with every single approach to an objective, GeekFam are taking away all of the power that Execration has.
Yeah, looking at the neutral items as well, there's a Titan Sliver for the Naga, but it doesn't seem to have much of an impact with the amount of damage that they already have to deal with. There's another Titan Sliver that did drop for GeekFam, but there's nobody to carry it. Pango's happy with Ogre Seal. We have the Vizier on the Silencer. Blast Drake on Tusk. Tusk, who mostly is just charging into battle anyway, will apply the mischance on Naga if he gets initiated on, or even on the Slardar. And
I thought Jugger gets it, the Sliver, just because of the avalanche.
He threw it away.
Can always pop the Blade Fury.
Yeah, he threw it away. He is holding onto Paladin Sword instead. Global Silence being used. Force taking a bit of a crash course here inside the triangle.
Nice force of the global science. Yeah, you go for a smoke right now. You just run towards your enemy. This is the best time possible for you to get a fight. GeekFam, though, they know about it, and they're not gonna allow it to happen.
Well, Bob walks into Scam, and Shanks goes in, but he can't get the toss out. It's a bloody tosser. They're just getting destroyed. They're getting wrecked.
I think this is the time to call it. When we look at Execration's lineup, they have nothing left. They cannot reposition their opponents. They cannot win a straight up team fight. They cannot split push. They cannot fight Roche. So with all of that being out of the way, there's almost no chance for you to come back unless GeekFam would make some big mistake like running into the fountain 3 times. But I doubt they're gonna be doing anything weird like that. They just want to end this one.
That will be game number 1 coming to a close. GeekFam closing the noose.
Very, very nice approach to dealing with the Naga Siren. I think when they saw the Lion and the Silencer, they should have left the Tiny in the mid lane.
Yeah.
But that just didn't do much.
Last fight. One last opportunity. They force out the A on this. They've already lost BDZ. Roger to fall. Support for support traded off, but Bat with the lasso still up. Palos tries to help his friends again with the song. Forces on the other side of the fight. Palos wants to control Scam. He's also got Narman on him. He will dodge with the mirror image, but still gets stunned. The stun from the Earth Spike. The last possible pixel actually lands on the Naga. Finger thrown out, tossed into the air by his friend. The heart regen is keeping him alive for a little bit longer, but finally sliced down. The Naga cut down. The Siren song has turned into some hot mixtape that nobody's gonna listen to on SoundCloud, and the Ancient falls. It's GeekFam to take the first.
Yep, and a very clean game from them. I think the last 2 picks from Execration didn't really set them up for success. First, they picked the Batrider in a situation where the Tiny, which they already had, would have been a better mid laner for sure, at least dealing with these supports. And then they went for a Slardar into a Juggernaut in this raid band meta that we already talked about. So you couldn't really get the Jug out of the lane. So Scam had a 21 score. Scam might have been playing support for quite some time, but we know that he started off as a position 1. And actually, when Boom, sorry, it wasn't Boom, it was Neon at that point. When Neon was 6th on the major, Scam was playing a carry at that point because their carry couldn't make it to the major. So this guy knows what he's doing, and if he has a perfect game like that where a Juggernaut is staying in lane for 12, 13 minutes without any chances of going down, this is just how it ends.
And some good quality Dota coming out from GeekFam. Very powerful execution. I like the draft a lot. I like the way they played. I could actually say hats off for both Tusk and the Lion, especially Narman. I think Narman really did not play too afraid on this Lion, despite the 10 deaths he has. I think every spell usage on him, he also counters the Naga. It was a good Lion game for him, but he also played it really well. So hats off, good performance from him. And in total, Execration, well, it's back to the drawing board, but you've got a game 2 to start wrapping things up as well. So we'll take a tiny break. We'll think about our points. You can think about your points, but there is more to come in our third series. We'll be back in a bit.